Alright, I wanted to take a look at this series played between GC Busong and Runaway um, in APAC. I think it's really interesting to see how the meta's changed in between um, the APEX finals and then this tournament, which had like a basically completely different meta. Like people were playing different things. Some similar things, but like support picks are different, and then like playing around those picks is pretty different because the different roles that you would play now. And I kind of wanted to talk about like the roles and how GC Busan has transitioned those roles of those like certain types of players, like your main support before, like your Lucio player is now playing Mercy, and then your flex support, who was sometimes playing the Mercy, is now just pretty much only playing Zen, and then sometimes you switch it up like a little bit, but it's a different way to play because there was a lot more bodyguarding of Zen, with just certain. Sometimes you would just send like Lucio back, or just like have like certain people like protecting the Zen, but now you can just have the Mercy healing him, and that is good enough protection against some of these people that are trying to dive him, and you don't need to commit as much people to damage mitigate, just for the fact that you can use the Mercy heal just to heal through that, rather than just having the Lucio only to heal them. So I haven't seen these matches in a while, so I can't exactly remember all of them, but I find that a lot of times these Pharaohs that are attempting to trade rockets in the air most of the time, unless they for sure are going to like go point blank and hit the double rockets and kill the other Pharaoh, they're going to just lose the ground battle. And the Pharaoh that concentrates more on being mindful of seeing the rockets trying to go for you, so like Hurek here is dodging these rockets out, but he's just completely focused on the ground. And he's just focusing this low tank target on the ground. It doesn't matter if you're getting hit with rockets in the air if you don't die, but if you're doing more work on the ground and you're being mindful and dodging the rockets up in the air, you're just going to win fight overall. So they trade both Winstons. This is pretty standard. Trades both Winstons. So they trade both Winstons. This is the big deal. So you trade both Winstons, that's fine. And then Mercy's usually go in for res, and they'll try to protect them a little bit. And then it's basically like, I don't know, a ceremony or like a harmonious thing where you're like, okay, teams, we're both going to just kill our Winstons off. They're both going to suicide, then the Mercies are going to res, and then we're going to actually have a real fight afterwards where kills actually matter. Seems to be like that's how like top level play is played right now, where you aren't trading people out of position. It's mostly just the Winstons being killed first. But the biggest thing is punishing the Mercies as they go in for the res. Teams need to allocate enough resources to protecting their Mercy when they go in for the res, and then if they don't do it enough, the other team has the potential to punish them and then kill the Mercy, and then once you've killed the Mercy, then the Winston is dead. So we didn't get to see it there, but Runaway was able to take out the Yusubusan's Mercy Winston, like as soon as they got the res, but the Mercy was still on the ground, and so the Pharaohs have to sometimes fly into this little middle room here to like actually like land rockets close range so that you can actually kill people on the point. But in these instances, the Mercies are so vulnerable because they aren't able to stay up in the air as much, and so they're having to like fly from the side of the point to the side of the point. So you want to set up like these executes so that you have like people on each side of the point to be able to like punish them. So you'll be shooting the Mercy, and then she'll have to like fly to the other side of the point, and then you have someone sitting there waiting, so she doesn't get her health regen off, and you're able to just kill her instantly after. And it seems like these are just like stagger kills, like they're just having to like run into the point to stall, and they're just finishing them off. Sorry if you can hear that, I'm drinking tea. I'm always interested by where teams go to approach. So it looks like JC Busong just like jumped over across the bridge, and then they just sent Tracer and Monkey basically to just like cause a lot of havoc here and just be running at people. I think Prophet does the best whenever he isn't able to get focused and he's able to just run around and just do whatever he wants. Because he has some pretty insane tracking. Seems like they chase them into the room though, and then yeah, Hacksaw is just able to barrage them. pretty weird seeing this team. It's weird seeing Cox on Lucio. So used to him seeing him play the flex. And well, that was a big boop. I want to go back and look at this, because these fights are the really strange ones. The other one, where their approach was like to go across the bridge, looked like it was going to work, but they just chased too far and then ended up going into the hut and dying. But like, I really do not like pushes where you try to like go across the bridge here. Because Farah is just going to be able to hit rockets, and then the monkey, who is it? Yeah, Jester. Look at his HP. He literally has like 100 HP, and he hasn't even like used any of his cooldowns. Like he's just like having to tank rockets as he's even like gotten here. So they're having to, this is like pretty bad because they're using beat, and he's like now just jumping. Like while he was 1 HP, he was 1 HP. They had to beat just to keep him alive, and then while he's gonna be in this team fight. As soon as that beat is wearing off, they're either both supports are gonna have to be pocketing him, and they're just gonna lose off that fact because then the healing isn't gonna go around to the rest of the team, or he's just gonna die and they're gonna have to res him, and then it's gonna be pretty risky because of how far he's gonna have to be up to like actually make any plays. So like, I think they had enough time. Like they probably should have just reset. Like it's really painful to watch some of these fights where they're forcing really hard and they're kind of just like really out of position and they can't really do anything about it. They do like an okay job of like getting away, but still like they're extending this fight out. Like they got Janu's suit and he hasn't been able to reset yet. I don't know if he's getting trapped or he wasn't able to jump off. He's just shooting from afar. But you see like this stall, it was like an incomplete push, and then how the hell did Closer die? He just got booped off randomly. Okay. Completely random. Lucio just went in really, really far out of his team, I guess. But yeah, you see, like, the D.Va got staggered a bit. The push before was a little bit poor, and then they just didn't have suit. So they were sitting there waiting to, like, actually get onto the point, and then Closer is trying to like come back onto the point. I think he was way too far ahead of his team and he just gets knocked off. So you've eaten like almost an entire minute, if not close to a minute, of just time of like resetting and like having one bad push. Where I liked their approach before, where they had like jumped in to the point and they didn't cross the bridge. Where you can use the walls to your advantage, or you're just hiding inside and you have to force the Pharah to come inside to deal with you, and you force like a different kind of fight than the enemy team was set up for. So I liked that, but now they're having to like stagger in, and I don't really like it. I don't know how this goes, but I feel like with the way that they attempted the fight was really, really poor. And then they had to use a lot of their cooldowns in the fight. Haxa hits just a ginormous barrage, kills basically all of them. Okay, Haxa's playing more Pharah. Took Courtyard. Janu trades a suit. Okay, I want to go back a little bit. Like this, I don't get to see a good angle on this fight as much, but so they send the pharmacy outside, and they're running a Lucio. So automatically, Runaway does not have as much upfront, like fighting damage. What I like to call it is basically just like if you are gonna take a fight immediately, they're just not gonna have as much damage because Zen is just gonna orb someone. Soldier is just gonna like shoot them and kill them basically instantly. So what they want to do is they want to have the tanks here on Runaway's thing playing a little bit further back and playing safe and waiting for these Pharah rockets to actually like do some poke damage before they commit to kills. It's pretty awkward that Pharah has to sit like on this back part and like shoot rockets here because you don't have the best angles. You aren't able to actually like hit a lot of them, but they lose the D.Va suit. Like it just gets jumped on and Soldier's able to sit there and just free shoot it once the matrix runs out. So yeah, GC Busan's running the meta comp right here, and they're playing it so smart. Like, your advantage is to just sit back a little bit, abuse their tanks because you have more fight damage, team fight damage with the soldier, and so okay, Stitch just pops the fuck off, but the point here still stands of I need to go back like just a little bit, like this. These VODs just make it so hard to do that. But you saw them right there. You see Zen, Mercy, and Soldier and Tracer are all standing together. Like, the only way that Runaway is going to be able to take this fight is basically if Stitch pops the fuck off, and he pops off. Like, they lost their Diva suit like a while ago. They lost the Lucio just right then. Luxaw's half HP. So, like, they have to, like, regroup and do a lot of things here where Jisoo Busung's all full except for their Diva. Diva's low, but I think he committed to the Lucio, killed him. And then they let Jano get his suit back. I can't remember if he gets rezzed. I don't think he gets rezzed because of how long this fight's gone on. Like, I think they just take him out of his suit and then don't punish him enough, so like, it's good that they played a unit here, but they needed to focus on killing the baby diva more. Especially not letting him get his suit back. Yeah, because he gets his suit back and then he's able to just boost into these supports and actually kill them. Because they didn't have their diva to match. So that's just, I think it's a bit poor planning. They did the initial correct play by punishing their tank, but then they didn't push it far forward enough. They played as a unit, which I was impressed by. I couldn't speak. Ugh. Gestures, punishing. Oh, yeah. It's not a lot they could do. They had to try to force. They had a small window where they could force onto the baby diva to try to win the fight, and Hawksaw just stood there and waited for all the tank cooldowns to go down, and they just barraged them. It's really smart. These top Korean teams do such a good job of punishing tanks. They bait the tanks in. The tanks are so good at protecting each other, but they're also so good at punishing the tanks with their ults and playing around them. So this is good. They're taking courtyard. This is what they want to do. They want to like force the Pharah to take weird angles on the point where she's shooting rockets. Prophet's just running around. They don't have the Diva with them though. Pharah's free shooting, yeah. They got a lot of kills, but maybe Hawksaw just wasn't able to finish off enough people. Okay, I guess they popped double support ults, so they were able to like stay alive. Because they were taking a lot of poke, and that like he had flown into courtyard and was just shooting like above them. It's pretty hard to retake with a Pharah. You have to hit like basically a lucky rocket or like boost in and then like try to execute someone. Try to hit a rocket and then have your tanks jump on it, but if you are playing back like GC Busan is with their soldier, like Hureg is just insane at just tracking people from afar and playing super smart. That was a really half-assed attempt at pushing into the point. Okay, Hawksaw switches to Genji. And Cox was in. Okay, this is good. I mean, I'd like for them to play Soldier, but I don't know if Hawksaw's Soldier is really that good. I haven't really seen a lot of it. Runaway's more so known for playing Projectile and Tracer almost always. They use the Diva Bomb. I'm pretty sure they just used the Diva Bomb to zone them, and then the Winston was able to like hit them all while they were bunched up in the corner. This is good. I love this use of tank ults from GC Busong. That was a great kill by Cox. I can't res that. I was gonna say though, using your tank ults before your support ults is always what you want to do. Let me finish my point before I continue on this team fight. Using your tank ults before you use your support ults is important because you're using your tank ults and you're basically like either consuming some of their ults or you're just like increasing the time that you have used on the point. And then the next fight, whenever you're going to come in and be using support ults, you're going to be getting like a shit ton of healing, and you won't have to worry about dying as much. So it allows you to like create this extra room and play more aggressively, and then build your ults back up while your supports are healing you. And so like your tanks are gonna like use their ults and then just like have this free period of where they're like in trance and they're able to just like hit as many people as they want and not have to worry about dying, and so they're able to just build their ults back up like even sooner. Whereas if you were to use them like the other way, like use your support ults and then use your tank ults, like the tank ults work kind of like in a similar way where if you have your tanks fighting, the Zen Orb and the Mercy Heal is like good on a Winston who's taking a lot of damage when he's in Primal, but it isn't like the same effect. But yeah, let's continue on to this fight. So they lost one early. They lost the Tracer early, but he's already come back at this point. Cox took him out early, like one-on-one. And they popped the Mercy ult outside. Oh my god, Haxa killed him. Okay. I want to go back a little bit and see how exactly this fight started. Like, I know, Runaway is just trying to force here. Like, they're trying to retake the point. They got a pick. They need to force before they have another member back. Everyone's in, like, a great position right here from Runaway, but... Okay. In these compositions where they're running, no soldier, which I mean Runaway is used to, you have to orb the Mercy, and it creates these weird instances where I think GC Busong's doing the right thing, where you send the D.Va or the Winston. Usually, I think the D.Va's probably best, where you try to one-shot the Mercy. You can't really do it with Winston if she has orb on her. But with D.Va, you can try to like hit headshots, rocket, and then boost at her and kill her. Where if she doesn't have any additional healing, like a soldier heal from whoever we're playing at Hacksaw, you have this opportunity to kill the Mercy early in the fight, where the other team, if you just have a soldier heal sitting there and then like a Zen Orb or a trance or something, then it just makes this opportunity so much harder. So I think this is the right approach, where you're pressuring, you have the pressure of both the supports right here on with just the D.Va, and the D.Va hasn't taken any damage for doing this. She literally just punished them and made them turn around. And because of that, the Winston died. It was like really smart split pressure right here. Hureg just gets absolutely fucking destroyed, dude. Like, Hakuso's insane on Genji. It's an insane turnaround. But because they had popped their Mercy ult earlier, they're able to just like use the double res during the point. Cox builds his up ult like really fast this fight, so it's pretty insane. It's hard to track the fight as much because just watching a Tracer, but their support ults seem to be really good. I tend to find though, whenever a Mercy will ult on their team, if you wait just a little bit before the team fights even started, they have to like usually force a little bit, then your teammates are going to be low. If you pop your Mercy ult later, you're going to have it for a little bit longer, and so we're in one of these instances where they pop the Mercy ult on GC Busong's case much sooner, so it's going to run off much sooner, and then it causes these instances where Runaway still has their Mercy ult just like healing everyone on the team, so if you stick together, it's easier to win fights that way, where as soon as your Mercy ult runs off, you're going to have your supports either in a bad position. It doesn't always have to be that case, but they're not going to be in a good situation where they can get saved after the fact. You see here where they're starting to get punished because the sustain wasn't in their favor, and so the supports really had to like play safe and like really get the fuck out of there, and Gesture just wasn't able to follow them. And are they going to be... Okay, Tracer is going to be able to touch. These Zens are fucking insane, dude. I don't know how they're turning this, to be honest. It seemed like they had great ults and they got picks themselves, but I think either Runaway positioned too far forward to pick off these kills, like Hakuso literally like bladed in their spawn and probably got picked off after the fact, but they were able to flip it. It's like really high level play, like punishing and going for like these really hard plays, and these stalls are really insane. They're playing this so smart, like they're just sending like one person in to contest and then the rest of them are playing safe and chasing anyone who is outside. Like both teams are doing this so much. Oh my goodness. Wow, that was like a really high level game of Koth. Usually really do not see that. Like their ult usage was actually like pretty on point for everyone. I'll skip forward a little bit too much. Okay, there we go. That's good. Alright. Ooh, I spot something different here, as we can see. Hold on. So, looking at these comps, triple tank on both sides. They're running different tanks though, so they're running Winston on Runaway's side, and then GC Busan, they're running Rhine. For the supports they're using, it makes sense where Winston does more damage than the Rhine, usually in these fights where Rhine has to hold shield up a lot more often. Runaway is running solo Junkrat DPS, so that's a bit strange, I guess, because usually when you run triple tank, you'll run hit scan, but I guess it isn't too weird because the corridors are pretty small. But I was gonna say, like, you can nano Winston in a lot of these fights here and keep the tanks alive, or nano the Zarya, where Winston's gonna probably be doing more damage than the Reinhardt in this game. And then on the other side, for GC Busong, they're running the Zen, who's going to be doing more damage than the Ana, but provides less healing, technically. So it's just pretty interesting seeing these different changes. And then yeah, JC Busong has way more control of this room right here. Stitch is going to be able to spam these tanks in the back, but whenever you have Rhine... Ooh, this pin. That was a bit too aggressive. Did he even get bubbled, or did the bubble get like instantly killed? I think I just saw the bubble used right there on the Rhine. Yeah, he charges in without a bubble, so... Like, I know they're out of position here, but... You win this fight with the shield, like with the Rhine shield. Like, you just hold your Rhine shield up, they have to pop their Winston bubble, and then, like, they're just sitting here in these corridors just, like, playing, like, really out of place. So if you just walk up with the Rhine, you can punish the people who are far forward. But... He got them low, but this Mercy Ana healing is insane. Like, you drop bio on someone and you heal the tank with both the supports, and they're full HP from 0 in like actually 1.5 seconds, so you can't commit to these kills as hard as you want to. Like, I'm sure you want the pin, but if you don't have a bubble, then you're just gonna get blown up by Junkrat, and that's what ends up happening. He gets res, but the team has slightly fallen apart at this stage. Let's see. Yeah. It's another instance where Mercy wasn't as protected, like she went in for the res and then was instantly punished. Interesting seeing these comps. I haven't really seen triple tank on either of these maps, or on this map specifically. I've somewhat played it before the Mercy changes, where we played just Lucio Ana, and then we played like this triple tank setup that Runaway has, but not played it with Ana before. Ana's like Ana Mercy and then Junkrat. It's pretty interesting seeing this. Seeing like different comps. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Alright. That was a big play right there. Alright. It's again another instance of killed the tank. What are we gonna do? We're gonna res the tank. We're gonna res them. So, they did a good job matrixing for the Mercy. That basically saved him, and it also created this false pressure right here, set of pressure where Hacksaw feels like he can't grab right here. He feels like he can't walk up to grab, even though this is where he wants to punish the Mercy. He wants to be standing here and he wants to grab the Mercy as soon as she goes in for the res. But he isn't able to. And so the Mercy, they're all, it looks like they just like, they focus too much on the Mercy. Like it looks like they all push up too much and they try to focus on the Mercy too much. Yeah, it looks like Tizzy ran in too, like he jumped in, and yeah. So the thing they need to remember, Runaway needs to remember. Am I saying? Yeah, Runaway needs to remember that the only way they play against Shatter is Zarya bubbles and Winston shield. And so when the Winston goes in too far and he pops a shield to like try to kill the Mercy or whatever and like his interface, it opens the backline open to the Shatter plays that GC Busong's coming out with. So like I'm sure it was just like in the moment thing where they see the Mercy, like they get the pick, and they're like, okay, this is so big, we're gonna get the res on, or we're gonna be able to camp the body and then kill the Mercy, but they overcommit to it, and then Runaway sees that they've overcommitted to it, and then they go and punish their backline harder for the mistake that they've made. Where if your tanks go for these really aggressive plays, you need to have your backline play accordingly so that they don't get punished by the things that they do. So if the tanks can't protect you because their frontline position is compromised and they've jumped too far forward, you don't have your backline also walking far forward and then getting shattered. Where you do exactly what Runaway did and you like you do what GC Busong. I'm getting confused. Where you let your main tank die basically, like you commit your main tank to it. But your backline plays accordingly, where you know you're going to be able to walk in and contest them again, but you're going to res your main tank, so in the actual fight. Fucking hiccups. I need to go back a little bit. Fucking Apple update, dude. I don't fucking care. Alright. Pretty standard, walking up to the door, contesting them. Yeah, they've had grabs on both teams for a while. Runaway doesn't have a defensive ult here, though. So I think either Prophet comes in through the main door, or he comes in from the side and just walks up and grabs, basically, but Runaway doesn't have a defensive ult to protect them from grabs, so like they need Bumper to be in a safe place and to pop Valk. He is like, what? How did they not follow up on this grab enough? I need to go back again. I'm just confused as to why this grab isn't followed up on as hard. Okay, so they swap Rhine. Maybe that's it. Okay, let's watch. Okay, yeah. He just walks up and just shoots grab into them. Basically. Where is Bumper? Okay, maybe Bumper wasn't in the grab. He was actually in like a really safe place when they grabbed. That's actually massive from him. And he was able to stay safe and then heal all of his teammates up and get the double res. Both Zaryas with like 100 energy. These Rhine shields are gonna fall. Ooh, he walked too far forward though. They just needed to wait a little bit. They were about to have numbers, I'm pretty sure. These fights are like really, really close and they played at like such a high level. It's really impressive. Oh, I think he accidentally matrixed that. Rig zoned with Deadeye. These are really fucking brawly fights. Okay, he does swap to the Zen, yeah. I feel like as soon as you swapped the Rhine, you needed to swap the Ana as well to try to match them. Okay, there's so much action going on the screen that I can't keep track of all of it, but it seemed like Cox changed way too late. Let's see if we can kind of like recap that last fight. Seems like Cox changed way too late. Yeah, he changed it at 84%. Like, you have to change basically because you aren't gonna get ult on Ana probably. But you need like the upfront like team damage. Maybe he maybe could have switched to Soldier. That's pretty desperate though. But yeah, it's Stitch is really far away from this team fight, and Cherky gets the pick here with the tire. But like by the time he's hit it, like he's like coming out of his animation, and like the team is just so far behind. Like they don't have a Lucio to speed onto the point, and so you have this like 100 energy Zarya, Junkrat, are just not able to push through all the damage and the zoning. So they're able to take that map. It was like really super high level fights there where they were trading ults and cooldowns like really efficiently, and so it was really impressive to see from both of them. It was like a really high quality series right there on Lijiang.